Our last lesson on imaginary numbers will deal with operations on square roots of negative numbers. For any positive real number b, the principal square root of the negative number negative b is defined by the negative square root b is equal to I square root b. So what that means is we can write a number such as the square root of a negative number, such as square root negative 3, as I square root 3. So when working with square roots of negative numbers, we should always begin by expressing all square roots with negative numbers in terms of I. So anytime you see a negative square root of a number, we should express all of these numbers in terms of I. Express all square roots with negative numbers in terms of I. That should be the first thing we do. So for example, if I see the square root of negative 25, I should instead write the square root of 25 times I. Because instead of writing this negative sign, I know that I'm actually writing the square root of negative 1, which is equal to I. Remember, we learned the square root negative 1 is equal to I. So let's use this and add these two radicals that are negative. This says perform the operation and write in standard form. I realize you can't see the entire verbiage here, but that's what it says. So square root negative 27 plus the square root of negative 48. First thing we want to do is rewrite in terms of I. So that should be our first job. So let's first write in terms of I. And what that means is let's take them out of the radical and write them as terms with I out front. So I square root 27 plus I square root 48. All right, so that's what we're really going to add together here. So we can think of these as like terms, really. So these are not perfect squares, so we need to simplify them. We need to think back to how we simplify these terms. We need to think of the largest perfect square that divides evenly into these terms. So the largest perfect square that divides evenly into 27 that I can think of is 9. So I'm going to write that term as 27 as 9 times 3. So I'm going to write that, and I'm going to come up here off to the side so I have more room. I'm going to write I square root 27, and instead I'm going to write I times the square root of 9 times the square root of 3. So now I have a perfect square here that I can evaluate. And I'm going to say plus I times the square root of 48. And I'm going to try to think of the largest perfect square that divides evenly into 48. And the largest perfect square that I can think of is 16. So 16 is the largest perfect square. And if I multiply that times 3, I will get 48. So now I have perfect squares that I can evaluate and simplify. So 9 becomes 3, and 16 becomes 4. I can't take a square root of 3, so I'm just going to bring that down. And I'm going to bring down this square root of 3. I want to write this in the correct format, and I still need to bring my I back down, and I need to bring this I back down. So I'm going to write this as 3I square root 3 and 4I square root of 3. And I want to add these together. So I can think of these as like terms. So I'm going to combine these, and I'm going to get 7I square roots of 3. Okay, let's look at what happens when we need to multiply using these numbers that are under a radical sign and they're negative. First thing we need to do is get the negative sign out from underneath the radical. So we're going to write in terms of I. That is always going to be the first thing we do. So I am going to rewrite this. This should be -2 minus, and this is going to become an I. So I am going to bring my I out, and I'm going to have square root 3 squared. So because I'm squaring a binomial, I'm multiplying a binomial times itself. So let's go ahead and write that out. And I have some more room down here. I'm going to go ahead and write -2 minus I square root 3 times -2 minus I square root 3. And then I can use FOIL to multiply. So remember, I'm just going to treat these as like terms, and I'm going to follow the rules of algebra to get this done. So I'm going to have -2 times -2 gives me +4. And then -2 times minus I square roots of 3 gives me +2I square roots of 3. If I multiply my inner terms, I'm going to get a minus times a minus, so I have +2I square roots of 3. And then my last terms are both negative, so I have plus. I have I times I, which gives me I squared. And I have square root of 3 times square root of 3, which is square root of 3 squared. So a few things here to think about. I have I squared, which is always equal to -1. So I'm going to replace that with -1. And anytime I square a square root, I get the number out of a square root that is in there. Because I'm squaring a square root, I get the number out. So this is just going to become 3. So I get rid of that radical sign there. Here I am adding two values that are alike. I have plus 2I square roots of 3 plus 2I square roots of 3. That is going to become 4I square roots of 3. So I have 4 plus 4I square roots of 3 minus 3. I'm almost done. I'm going to combine my like terms. I have +4 and a -3, so I have 1 plus 4I square roots of 3. So I have standard form, and I have completed that problem in simplified terms, and I have it in standard form. For the last example, let's do some division. So let's perform the operation and write it in simplified standard form. So I see that I have a negative number underneath my radical sign. I'm going to get that out and write it in terms of I. So I'm going to write -25 plus I square root 50 all over 15. I'm going to make my pencil a little smaller here. So I have -25 plus I square roots of 50. I want to break that 50 down into simplified form. So I need to make that, I think I can make that square root of 25 times the square root of 2. So that is going to become square root 25 times square root 2 here. So we're going to say this is going to be I square root 25 square root 2. So let's rewrite that now. So this is going to be -25 plus I times the square root of 25 times the square root of 2 over 15. So if I simplify that square root of 25 right here, that actually becomes 5I. which is the whole purpose of breaking down my square root of 50 into the square root of 25 times the square root of 2, so that I can simplify that and take a square root when possible. So what I end up with now is the negative 25 plus 5i square root of 2 all over 15. Now remember, I need to have a real part and an imaginary part, so I'm going to go ahead and break that up into a complex number, and I'm going to have negative 25 over 15 plus 5i square roots of 2 over 15. Now I don't want to leave it like that because we always want to simplify as much as possible, and I can reduce each one of these parts a bit. So I can simplify here, and I can simplify here, and I end up with negative 5 over 3, because 5 will go into 25 and into 15. And then I end up with 1 here and 3 on the bottom. And so I end up with I square root of 2 over 3. I like to write my square root of 2 over 3 and then my I out here. You could write it there in front of your square root 2, or you can write it off to the side. Either one is fine.